All right, we're going to try this again. I think the internet was not too good outside. I'm going to try our broadcast indoors, and we're going to try to invite a guest or two. We're going to copy this to the clipboard and see what happens. It's funny. It's just pasting the word clipboard instead of what I wanted it to paste, which was, okay, let's try it again. Hopefully it says it on the clipboard that we're here. Okay, I think I put the link here. If you'd like to come join us, we're expecting a guest, an international guest, all the way from Jerusalem, and that's my son, the Jerusalem Rabbi. That's right. He's going to come and talk to us about the beautiful holiday of Sukkot. And if you hit that link, it should show us what's going on. Well, anyway, good afternoon, everybody. I'm looking a little pale. Wait a second. I think it's the lighting. Here we go. Yeah, that's better. All righty, right. Anyway, hope you're all doing well. Enjoying the afternoon. And we're just waiting momentarily. I'm just going to message my son, let him know we're good to go. Okay, so I messaged him. I think he's about ready to come on. So let's hope he gets our little link and we are going to be good. Well, anyway, the holiday of Sukkot is a holiday of joy. So why is it so joyful? You ask. You have to leave your comforts of home and go dwell in a hut in your backyard. Why would that make you so happy? But the idea of it is it's all about thankfulness. We're thankful that we have the things that we need, and we have the faith, and we know that whatever's in that little hut are the real important things in life: family and friends and all that, all the good things. So Dylan Korn, all right, he is here. I think I'm going to invite somebody up here. I'm trying to add to stream here.
There we go. It worked.
Okay. Good. I hope you weren't waiting too long. I was just giving you a little introduction.
No, yeah, it's fine.
Wow,
Nice.
you're in the Sukkah there.
Look at this. This is the is the nicest sukkah in the world, actually.
Wow.
Can I
What
flip the
makes it
camera? I don't
so?
even know.
What makes it so nice?
It's the most exclusive sukkah we're on top of Aisha Torah,
Wow.
like in front of the kotel. Like, I don't know if I can get it
Yeah,
in. See
that's a
this?
nice view there. Wow, that's
This is
in
crazy.
Jerusalem.
Yeah. It's
Wow.
like this is the craziest place ever. Like, actually.
That's really nice property.
Yeah, they
Western
own
Wall.
actually most of the property. They own most of the property in front of the Western Wall, like half of it, I think.
I wonder who owned it before they moved in.
I don't know, but they got it for a really good deal. I heard it was like a miracle.
I got a good price. You got a Wailing Wall view property, and
Yeah,
you got it. Is prime real estate.
yeah. So this is awesome. This is really awesome. Honestly, it's just like it's the next level of sukkahs. It's the most exclusive sukkah in the world, probably. Like one
Yeah,
of
I
the
don't think
most.
anybody else can boast of the view of the Beit Hamikdash. You know, it's the temple.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Oh, I'm glad we were finally able to make this hookup happen. I remember back in the olden days when you wanted to do a satellite hookup, you had to have those big satellite dishes that they'd have to wheel it out from a van or something, and you know, you had to have all these television cameras, and now you can just do it from your phone. What do you know?
Exactly. Way better. I don't know. Yeah,
Well,
but
I came from an Orthodox home. You know, if I was going to have anything like that, we'd have to have two sets of satellite dishes, you know, one for milchik and one for fleshik, and maybe
yeah,
another set for
exactly.
Passover.
Yeah, exactly. You just don't eat on top of them. That would probably be the best solution. I mean, if you really need to eat on top of the satellite dish, we run out of. We don't want to wash any more silverware. We're just gonna use this satellite dish.
If you mix it up, then you have to bury it in the dirt for 7 days or something, so it resets it.
Flamethrower, flamethrower.
Yeah, there you go.
That would actually work. That would be
So
pretty
did you
cool.
go to any good Sukkot parties, or do you have any good Simchas Torah parties lined
We
up?
just had a musician right now, and we have musicians every night on top of the roof of Aish. They play music.
Did they
People,
have a fiddler?
yeah, they have a couple of guys who play
The
fiddle.
fiddler on the roof was there. Wow, that's amazing.
Exactly. The fiddler on the Aish roof. Yeah.
Do you ever, speaking of rooftops, do you ever go wandering around on the Jerusalem rooftops like we used to back in
Yeah, they have.
2012?
There's a shul or like a base. There's like a place to learn. On there's these people in the old city. They follow like the Vilna Gaon. I think they wear tefillin all day, and where they learn is on the rooftops. And someone lets me go. Someone allowed me to like go downstairs into where they learn and stuff. He like invited me over. It's cool. You can walk around
Yeah,
like
I mean, it would be kind of weird if people the public was walking around our roofs, but it's like public
no, it's
property on
fine.
people's
It's
roofs,
fine.
or
It's fine. Yeah, it's just over the shook.
oh,
Okay,
it's over
maybe
the
that's
show.
some of those roofs are a problem. You shouldn't walk on all of them. I mean, some of them you
Hmm.
can.
They got
Yeah,
some pretty sturdy roofs there.
yeah. I wouldn't step on like half of them. Only the cement, some of the cement ones, because you'll fall
Oh,
into some
okay,
guy's
good.
house.
That's a good tip.
Yeah, you don't want to fall into a guy's living room. Yeah, yeah. All right. So, do you have any questions about Sukkot or I got some
I
stuff
just
about it.
thought of a question that I was trying to remember about Sukkot. Um, hmm. Well, you know, like they always say, people dwelled in sukkahs then after
Yeah,
the 40 years, you know, in the desert after they left Egypt. But it also says they dwelled in tents. So why don't we
tense.
just dwell in tents? Because that's really what they lived in. I think, wasn't it the tabernacle was in a hut?
Tense. Yeah. I don't know. I heard something about this. I heard something about this, but I didn't know. I didn't get the answer for why we don't sleep in tents. And I know why we sleep like to see the sky and everything and like the temporary roof. And it also talks about a sukkah when it comes to like the cattle of like Yaakov. And it's really like it represents like really appreciating like the little things in life because it says like he named the city Sukkot because of this his place for his cattle. And right now it's like a big time for appreciation. So it kind of like connects to that idea of that. And also this is also kind of like compared to like the clouds of glory, like those clouds protecting us in the desert. And it was kind of like more, it was like a natural sort of thing. And this is also like you can see like through, you know, it's like, I don't know, it kind of makes sense. Like a cloud, you can kind of like, it's almost like a little transparent. You can kind of like see kind of through the top of the sukkah also. It's cool. You're kind of like in the nature. I don't know why we're not in a tent though. That's a good question. Trying to
Yeah,
find the answer
because
to
they
that.
really lived in. It says, "Ma tovu alecha Yaakov." How wonderful are your
Yeah,
tents, O Jacob. When
I heard
when
that.
Bilam came to curse the Jewish people,
Yeah,
so
let's see.
it's kind of an.
That's such a
I
good
think it
question.
has something more to do with the tabernacle was housed in a sukkah.
Yeah, it was more of like a square shape. It was like a box.
Yeah, the tabernacle was like this moving. It was like a moving hut.
Yeah, it was crazy. It was like a big square thing, and like they would put it all in, they'd carry it. The ladies would carry it, and they'd take it apart and move
They
it.
made the ladies carry the sukkah.
They carried the tabernacle. Yeah, they made the Levies carried it, all the stuff
Oh,
in
ladies.
the
I thought you
desert.
said ladies.
No, the Levies. Yeah. Let's see. Hmm. So interesting. Yeah, I have a booklet about different things about like about sukkahs. I really want to find out about why we don't sleep in tents. Why do we do the sukkah? I mean, it's just I know it represents like it talks about sukkahs with Yaakov, and it represents like appreciating like the small things. That was just about his animals. He named his entire city about like a sukkah after his sukkah that he just kept his like horses in and like his or whatever his like cows in. So that was one. That was like one place where they talked about sukkahs in the Torah. But
Yeah, I
yeah,
think that they had gone to some place that was called Sukkot when they left Egypt too.
maybe
There was
yeah,
a place of Sukkahs or something.
yeah.
But did you know that
Um,
Sukkot was modeled after the American holiday called Thanksgiving? Because there's a lot of thankfulness in
reverse.
Sukkot. Yeah, the
So reverse
Puritans
thing.
wanted to create a holiday that was similar to the holiday of the Pentecost, and I think the the English interpretation would be the Pentecost or something like that. So they this is a harvest holiday and a holiday of thankfulness and happiness. And it's interesting that it happens right after Yom Kippur, the most solemn, serious, holy day of the year.
Right.
But there is like a parable. I don't know if you ever heard the parable where the Jewish people are like the child of the king. Did you ever hear this one?
Yeah.
And the king,
Maybe.
they've been gone. The child has been gone for a long time, so the king summons him back to the palace. And but the king is not sure if he's coming out of obligation or if he really loves him, if he really wants to be there. So Yom Kippur would be like being summoned back. But everybody's worried, they're
Right.
being judged or this or that. God's not really sure if you love him or if it's just fear. But when you dwell another 7 days in the sukkah and you show your love and thankfulness and happiness, that's how we forge our relationship. Then the king knows that his child really loves him because he's happy to be there.
Yeah.
Just
I
that
never heard
about
that one
it.
before. That one's
Interesting
awesome. That's
parable.
awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I never heard that.
So
That's
that's
good.
why it has to be,
Wow.
because why else would you really need to put Sukkot over here? It should have been closer into Passover and Shavuot. We have enough Jewish holidays, with Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur and Simchas Torah and Shmini Atzer, Hoshana Rabbah. We really didn't need Sukkot now, but I think it's done to show that closeness to God and to other people living in this small hut. What's
Right.
really lasting, and this is a temporary existence, so we can be happy even in the temporary.
Right. But what's it called? What an interesting thing is, like, what holiday would you think would be that holiday where you should be the happiest, like, of the three main ones? Sukkot or Pesach or Passover or Shavuos. Passover is where they were freed from from Egypt. Shavuos is when, like, we got the Torah, and Sukkot is when we're stranded in the desert for 40 years in, like, tents. Like, which one do you think would be the happiest one? Like,
Probably either Pesach or Shavuos.
exactly. But it turns out that in the Torah it says, I think it only says the simcha, like happiness. I think it says it. I don't even think it says it like, I don't know. It says it either once in Pesach and Passover, or once in Shavuos. Or one of them it doesn't even say it, and in Sukkot it says it three times. It says it three times as many as both Passover and Shavuos combined for Sukkot. It's interesting. Like, it's interesting to think.
I think we lost our
Still
momentarily.
there?
Okay,
It's
you're
interesting to
back.
think. Yeah, it's interesting to think that this is like the holiday that you're like the happiest on, and yeah, it just shows like like it's just like a time where we're just like close to God, and we're in the desert, and like even though like things weren't really going so much, we were in the same place for like 40 years, and but like we were really like on our way to becoming great and to getting to Israel, and that was like the last step before we got into Israel was when we were in the sukkahs and we're in the tents and the clouds. And yeah,
Yeah, happiness is about being able to enjoy what you have at the moment. Like, for instance, Pirkei Avot says, he who is happy is satisfied with their lot. So
yeah,
if you're happy with what you have, the basic things that you need, food and friends and family, and those are the big things in life. So if you're happy with that, you are a truly happy person. If you can't
right,
find
exactly.
happiness and there, you can only find happiness with materialism, then that's not a lasting happiness, because they said most people end up only having less than half of what they really wanted. So you're never going to be completely happy with materialism.
You can see that people aren't happy with that kind of stuff, even though like whatever it sounds fun, but like great after it's over, you just want more stuff, and it's a vicious cycle. This is like you're no matter what you're happy, so then it's not a cycle. You're just that you're there already, you know. But
Yeah, it's
an interesting thing is like the difference between happiness and like joy. Like, they say like the difference between happiness is something that you're enjoying like in the moment, like you're happy right now, and joy is when you're like in anticipation of something, in anticipation of something great happening. You're very joyful because you're like can't wait for this thing to happen, and you're like excited, you know. So in Sukkot, we're like waiting to get into Israel, and we're waiting for the next step in the journey, and and it's a big joy also. Not only is it happiness right now because we had everything we needed, but also we're joyful for the future and for the future of the people and everything, which is like a double. It's awesome. Yeah,
yeah, that is, it's a really interesting concept.
I think people
Dennis
are
Prager
sleeping.
said that happiness is a serious problem, and sometimes we have to work on it. And it's interesting, like, you have to command people to be happy. You must be happy whether you like it or not. King David said, "Ivdu Hashem b'simcha," serve God with happiness. You got to fake it till you make it, basically. Put yourself in that frame of mind, because if you're thinking about What you don't have, you've got the recipe for misery. If you think about the things you do have, you're moving towards happiness. And we all have something to be thankful for, no matter what our predicament is. There's always something that you can really truly be happy or satisfied about.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, exactly. That's a good Tehillim. We say it a lot nowadays during this month. Yeah.
But the
So
Tehillim, Ivdu Hashem B'Simcha, serve God with happiness.
exactly. We say it every morning, I think. I think we say it in Sukkah Zimra every day.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, it's like Tehillim like 140 something, I think. But yeah. He has to do. You want to talk about like the lulav and etrog? There's a lot of symbolism in that also.
Right, because the willow, I think it all represents desires and actions. Like the
Yeah, exactly.
lulav represents the heart. The willow represents the lips, like where we talk and we eat out of our lips, and then the hadas, your
It's the eyes.
or it's at Ravro, yeah, the eyes, and then you have the date
The
palm
lulav.
spine, the
That's the
lulav.
spine. Yeah.
It connects the thoughts to the actions.
Right. And the etrog is the heart. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I think. And it also represents combining all the different kinds of Jews together too. And because we can't do it without every Jew, so we bind everybody together and just bring them together.
Yeah, all different types. Some people do good things.
Something happened with the audio.
And then they
I think your hands on like the speaker or something.
ultimate thing is to learn and
Yeah.
to be a person who does good deeds.
Yeah. It's good, but we need everybody. No matter what you do, we need to get everybody together because that's the whole point. Sukkah, it's like everyone comes to Jerusalem. Everyone's together in the Sukkah. It's a big thing.
Have they opened up Jerusalem yet, or is it still only open
It's the
to the residents?
first time in history that this has happened. I think they couldn't.
Wow.
I mean, that like people can't get in here, something like that, some crazy thing like that. It's the first time ever. We also did Sukkot Eish Torah. Never did it before. First year ever.
Really? I thought you did it last year.
They have sukkahs, but they don't do meals and they don't have stuff going on so much.
Oh, that's interesting.
Usually it's the break. They let us go out and we just go other places. But this
Where
time,
did you go
since it's all
last year?
closed, I was in
Tel
Tel Aviv
Aviv?
last year. Yeah.
Where did you stay?
My friend's grandpa.
Uh-huh.
It was interesting. It was fun.
That's cool.
I have some crazy stories from that. But yeah, we went. Yeah, we were there for a week, and then we came back, and then we had like a week break. But yeah, and this year it's way nicer though because I've been in Sukkah the whole time. I slept in Sukkah for 4 nights or 5 nights, I think.
And last night you just slept inside because you weren't
Slept
feeling
inside.
that good.
That's the thing. If you don't feel well, if you're not comfortable, it's actually a
Mhm.
mitzvah. It's a good thing to sleep inside, and you actually still get like a mitzvah for sleeping inside. Mitzvah is like it's like a commandment, but it's also like a connection. It's like a connection with God. It's the same root, I think. But yeah, so you're still connected even though you stay inside because that's what God doesn't want you to suffer. You're supposed to live by the Torah. You're not supposed to suffer by it. But you should suffer to learn Torah. It's interesting because learning Torah is important. But if just to like do a mitzvah and you're very uncomfortable, you shouldn't do it because it's actually taking you farther away from God. you're gonna
Yeah.
resent and be uncomfortable.
The-
Oh, your hands on the speaker again. I can't hear you.
like you had a.
Yeah.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Like the Buddhists, the Eastern religions were aesthetics. They believed that physical things were evil, physical pleasures and all that. But and then you had the hedonists like the Romans and the Greeks, who took it the other
They're all
extreme. And then
right. That's all I did.
Judaism is in between, where you're supposed to take the physical things that we do, like eating and drinking, but you bring it to a higher level by thanking God and making a blessing and doing good
Right.
things with resources. So we don't
The
look
whole
down
is
upon
yeah.
them, but we just try to channel it in a positive way.
Right. The things that people think are the most physical things, we think are the most holy things because the most physical things can be uplifted the most. Eating, you eat on Shabbos, on Sabbath, seventh day. That's a day for rest and enjoying things. And there's anything that you a lot of things that people think like, oh, that's not good. You shouldn't. Like a lot of like you're saying like Eastern religions would think like you shouldn't take any pleasure from this world. Like obviously you shouldn't take any pleasure that's frivolous, but you should use pleasure to connect to something higher than it. That's really the whole point of pleasure is to connect to something higher.
Yeah, to channel it and make it into a higher benefit and bring it to a higher level. And it's really a nice. It's like the golden mean, like Maimonides talked about finding the middle
Middle
route,
ground.
not going to be too extreme one side or the other. And there's a lot of pleasures in this world. And if you become a Nazir, which you basically make a vow for a period of time to give up drinking wine, and I think they don't cut their hair or shave or
Oh,
something. So they have to give a sin offering once they're.
hello.
Yeah, can you hear me? Can you
Yeah,
hear me? They have to give.
yeah.
Yeah, they have to give a sin offering because they denied themselves of some pleasures in life, even though they were trying to
If you
get
fast on
closer to God.
Shabbos, you say?
No, I'm talking about the Nazir, who
Oh
the
yeah.
Nazarite,
If you
who
give
he gives up drinking wine or grape juice and shaving and cutting. He denied himself pleasures of this world,
so you have to give right.
so he has to
It's
give
an
a
interesting
sin
thing.
offering when his 30 days are over or whatever his commitment was.
Yeah, that's interesting. The Nazarite. It's next to the part of in the Torah talking about like the unfaithful wife, and it's like there's the thing like there's the thing like the reason why they put them together is an idea that he went up to the base of Mikdash to the temple. He saw an unfaithful wife and all this bad stuff that was happening to her, and he says like, look at this person like she like got tempted by like too much of like physical world and she took it too far and like, I don't want to be involved with it at all, you know. And then he becomes like he
Oh,
separates himself from the physical world. Yeah,
that's interesting. I was wondering how the Sota and the
as
Nazarite,
you're connected.
why it was
So they're
connected. There's
connected.
so much
The two
meaning.
extremes. So one person who went too far with in the physical, and one person who saw that and decides, let me just go take a step back for a bit and let me like reassess and stay away from that for now.
But
There's
since
people
he
who actually
denied
have been
himself of pleasures he could have
pleasure.
had,
He
he
still
still
has
has
to
to
give
give
us
sin
offer.
off.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy?
So you can't if you there's a thing where you fast on Saturday and for a bad dream or something like that. You're fasting for a bad dream. A bad dream is like a sign, maybe. Could be back then it was more strong than today, but it could be a sign of like bad omen or something. A bad, not a bad omen, but like a bad thing could happen to you in the future. So you fast to like try to like make the punishment less bad. But if you do that, if you do that on on the Sabbath, then you have to fast another day after that to atone for fasting on the Sabbath, because you're supposed to enjoy it. So you fast an extra 2 days in a row.
You have to fast to pay
atone
for
for
all the
fasting.
fasting you did. That's
Exactly.
crazy.
Yeah, it's interesting. But you have to fast on Saturday because you had a bad dream on that day. So you need to fast on that day. So you have to do it. So they have to fast again to atone
Is that a
for
real
it.
halacha or it's just a custom?
I don't know. Nowadays we do a lot. Nowadays, since people are weaker, instead of fasting, we donate money and learn instead of fasting so much. I mean, we still fast on some holidays, but like if you did a sin or if you want to like repent, you just donate money. That's more of the thing nowadays. Because people can't fast like that anymore. We're weak. We eat McDonald's every day, so we can't go whole 2 months of fasting. All this stuff they used to do.
Yeah,
But
that's
yeah,
interesting. What time is it over there in Israel?
12:40. It's Hoshana Rabbah. That's another thing.
Oh.
It's a holiday tonight. We do these things called Hoshanos, where we walk around the bima, around the Torah, with the lulav and esrog, and we say like "Save us now" to Hashem, and we do a whole thing. And this is like a Hoshana Rabbah is like the great Hoshana. It's like the big finale
Do they
to
at the
this
end they take out the lulav because they're not using it
Arava.
anymore and they whack the aravos against the
Yeah, you whack them
chairs?
on the floor, or your chairs. Yeah,
Yeah, I
it's
remember
the thing.
going to that
We're
service.
gonna do it.
It was
Yeah,
always a lot of
last year.
fun. I
It's
think we
fun.
took it to a whole new level because there couldn't be any leaves left on the aravot. We were done. We had
I
to
don't
be
think
very machmir.
I don't think you're supposed to do that. Oh, that's pretty funny
We
actually.
had to take it to the next level.
Yeah.
I don't think we were invited back the
So that's
next year either. The janitor, they had to call the gardener in there after that.
it's horrible.
The mow and blow.
It's terrible. All right. I have one more thing about the sukkah. Actually, it's Rabbi Hirsch, Samson Raphael Hirsch.
Hmm.
He's from the 1800s, I think, in Germany. So my rabbi is a big fan of his. So he told us the top of the sukkah, right on top of I'm showing right now, that needs to be made out of a material that has two specifications. It was connected to the ground, but it was cut off, and the groove from the ground was cut off, and it's also not a vessel. It can't be anything that was made into a vessel, not like a hammer or a shovel or anything. You can't use that, or else it's not kosher for the top of the sukkah, for the covering. So and that's sukkah comes from the word schach. The covering of the sukkah comes from the schach because that's what we look at the schach to remember the mitzvah, the mitzvah of the sukkah and the sukkahs that the Jews were in, and the clouds. You need to see it to remember that you're in a sukkah. So it's very important. But it can't be made out of something that is a vessel, and it can't be made out of something that's not connected to the ground. So that teaches us a lesson that like what's it called? We oh, it was so good. I want to remember it. We can't make it out of a vessel because we're people. Like people think that we think that we control everything and we are in control of everything that goes on, and we are able to protect ourselves and make our lives better. But really, like look at the way the world is right now. Like we thought we could protect ourselves, and we thought we thought we could do everything, but we can't. We don't know what's gonna go on. We have no way to prevent ourselves from what God wants. We can't like stop what God wants. We're under His control, and we have to deal with what happens. And so that it shows we can't like use our own man-made vessels for the sukkah.
Hmm. Want to
We
say
can't
hi
make
to
it.
Dallas?
Yeah, sure.
What was the last thing you were saying about the?
We can't use vessels because we can't use like something that's fashioned into a vessel as the schach
Oh,
because we made it. Like we made it, and it's not okay. And it's showing like Like we were trying to show that we're not like in complete control, so we don't use that, and we can't use something that's still connected to the ground because what's it called? We have to realize that like I think it's like we're not completely dependent on the ground. We're not like it's not entirely just like the natural world. Like we have to put in
Right.
some work, I think.
And it's not
But
only about how
also,
much work we do to get the results.
right,
It's God
exactly. We need,
provides the results for us. And it's not always about how much work we're. Here's Dallas Jesse Raphael.
what's
There's
up?
Dallas.
Hi.
There he is.
Hey. You see the Sukkot house? Look at this. We're on top of like Jerusalem.
I don't know
Crazy.
why your thing is frozen.
Oh no.
Oh, there it is.
Frozen?
Now it's a little
Yeah.
better.
Nice Sukkot. Yeah.
It has a beautiful view of the western wall. It's got primo real estate there.
Yeah. It's awesome. It's really awesome. Just sitting during the day, like the sky gets like towards nightfall. The sky, probably because of the pollution, they burn trash a lot around here. But
Really?
so
Why did
there's
they
like
do
this
that?
like I don't know. It's a weird thing, but no, yeah. There's like pollution and stuff, and it's like LA, so you see like the rainbow in the sky at night at the end of the day.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's really cool. And yeah. Oh no, I can't hear you again. I think your hands on the thing. What? I don't hear you. Oh, what? Wait, I think your hands on the. I think your hands on the speaker.
Where's the mic?
Yeah, there you go. It's on the back.
I'm putting my hand on the mic. That's crazy.
Yeah.
I need a pot holder. This phone is getting hot. It really is. I could cook a fried egg on the side of it. Is that any better?
Yeah, it's better.
Yeah. Well, this is really cool. Are you going to come back and we'll talk about some more interesting subjects?
Probably gonna go since the holidays are ending after this, pretty much. So we're
Yeah,
probably
maybe we
we have
could talk
Simchas
about
Torah.
like some other topics.
Right, we're talking about I have a lot of interesting classes they teach here. They have 5 levels of pleasure, like different pleasure in life and how you can like reach higher levels of pleasure with life. There's 48 ways to wisdom, which is like based on Pirkei Avos, which is like the 48 ways to like connect to the Torah and stuff. And there's some other
ways to
stuff
leave your
too.
lover also.
Paul Simon, he's also Jewish.
It's interesting how he began those 50 ways lists because of that song.
That was him?
Yeah, he was
BuzzFeed.
the first guy. They started doing these 50 ways, 48 ways. He was the originator of it.
48 Ways is from the Pirkei Avos. That's like 2,000 years ago.
Really? But did somebody compile it into a list like that, or?
It was like 1,000 years ago. Like,
Good thing. 48 ways to live your chazer.
yeah, it's great. That's a great book. Well, there's a lot of stuff. That 5 levels of pleasure is amazing, though. It's really good. It's a very Aisha Torah does the big class. They have other things too that they do here. They teach, but maybe we also go over different topics, philosophy, whatever. Hopefully, I'll get that question for why we're in a sukkah, not in tents. I don't want to get that answer. I want to like
Yeah,
get
I
into
just
that.
kind of thought about that one because, you know, because they said something like the quote is like God made the people live in sukkahs, so you will be commanded to live in a sukkah too. But maybe at the
Right.
beginning, when they first came out, they lived in sukkahs, and then later they changed to tents. That may be part of the answer. I'm not sure.
Right. There was something about that where they lost on Yom Kippur. On Yom Kippur, they lost the clouds of glory because they did the sin of the golden calf on Yom Kippur, and then I think the same time they like got them. I think on Sukkot they got them back or something like that. Or around this
Yeah.
time they got them back.
And like you say, you
Did you
can't
see
see the
that?
clouds unless you have the skach on top. If you just have a tent,
Yeah.
you won't be able to see the clouds or the
Yeah, you have to see the
heavens.
stars and all that. They haven't. Yeah, it's amazing. And the sleeping under the stars was, even though it made my allergies go crazy, like it was amazing. It's really really cool.
Really.
In the old city. Yeah.
Your voice sounds a little better today. You feeling better?
And I slept inside. I think it is allergies. I think I was allergic to the bamboo or something. But
The old bamboo,
but,
the old bamboo. Nothing gives me allergy like the old bamboo. Little
yeah, it's
Dick Van
fun.
Dyke for you there from Chitty Chitty Bang Bang.
Is that what that is?
I think that might be from Chitty
Yeah, I
Chitty
forgot about
Bang.
that.
We're all still
Forgot about that.
trying. We're all still trying to get over the loss of Eddie Van Halen.
You heard about that? That's crazy.
Yeah, we're selling. I sell music, and my Van Halen albums are selling like hotcakes. It's crazy. Everybody wants Van Halen, so I've been extremely busy trying to get trying to get all these Van Halen videos and albums out to people in need. Do you know that we ended up seeing the last Van Halen concert of all time?
We did? You did or I did?
You were there. You in Dallas. It was October 4th, 2015. That was the final night of the final tour.
Huh.
That's pretty
Crazy.
chashuv that we saw one of the greatest guitarists. Final concert. I'm ordering the audio version of the show, so soon you'll be able to revisit that.
That's cool. I don't even yeah. Wow. Where was it? Hollywood Bowl?
Yeah, Hollywood. You remember that? I can't believe that was a half a decade ago.
Huh. Well, that's scary.
I remember Van Halen played at Jimmy Kimmel's show. But we were in San Diego, so then we decided to go see their concert. I'm glad we did.
Yeah.
Awesome. And you saw them another time too. I think you saw them in 2012.
Staples.
Yeah. I just sold my shirt. It was too small. I had bought the wrong size to sell it. Somebody just bought it on eBay.
Right.
That's a tip for you guys out there. If you have any valuable or rare collectible Van Halen stuff, now's the time to sell it on eBay.
Yeah.
It's a little tip for you guys. You get a little business tip from their Hollywood Rabbi. But anyway.
Okay, so if there are any more questions you have, I can try to answer it. And I gotta go soon because I'm gonna learn.
I don't want to keep you up. Thank you so much for being a guest and waiting appointment to be over.
You're covering the mic.
Oh, I'm doing it again. Yeah. I said my appointment went a little longer than I thought, but thank you for waiting. I'm glad we did it. And I know Valerie will be very happy because she keeps calling me, asking me when our Sukkah special is. So say hi to Valerie and Barbara.
Hey, Valerie.
And
hey, Barbara.
We'll say Chag Sameach to everybody. Thank you, Dylan.
Chag
Thank
Sameach.
you for all your insight, and we hope to have you back on the show again soon. Bye bye, everybody. And happy Simchas Torah and Shmini Atzeret and Hoshana Rabbah. There you go.
Yeah.
It's trifecta.
Big three.
Trifecta. How do they call that anyway?
Trifecta.
Trifecta of holidays is coming up. This is the final round. So soak it in, enjoy it, and live life to the fullest. We'll see you back later.
Man.
All right. Love you. Bye bye. Good night.